What if everything you learned about the pyramids in school is off by thousands of years? Mainstream history claims the Great Pyramid was built around 2560 BC, but anomalies in the landscape tell a very different story. Shock's erosion theory. Most geologists say it's wind/salt weathering, not 7,000-year-old rain. Göbekli Tepe. Old and impressive, but carved pillars don't equal precision pyramid masonry. Orion alignment only works if you cherry-pick stars. The Sphinx actually faces due east. 2560 BC dating, backed by workers' villages, quarry marks, papyri, and radiocarbon dates. Now let's talk about the stars, because this is where things get really interesting. The three pyramids at Giza aren't just lined up in a neat row. Their positions closely mirror the three stars of Orion's belt, right down to the slight offset in the third pyramid, which matches the slight offset of the third star. Some researchers, most notably Robert Bauval, took this a step further. Using a method called archaeoastronomy, he calculated when the Orion constellation would have appeared in the sky in a position that perfectly matched the pyramid layout on the ground. His answer wasn't 2500 BC. It was closer to 10,500 BC. Now, mainstream Egyptologists have pushed back hard on this idea, arguing the alignment could be coincidental or that Bauval's methodology has flaws. That pushback is worth taking seriously. Orbital mechanics and constellation positions shift slowly, and small assumptions in the model can shift the output by thousands of years. But notice something. That date, 10,500 BC, keeps showing up. It's suspiciously close to the end of the last ice age and to a mysterious abrupt cold snap called the Younger Dryas, a period when global temperatures plunged rapidly for reasons scientists still don't fully agree on. Some researchers think this period marks a lost chapter of human history, a moment when an earlier, more advanced society existed and was largely wiped out by catastrophic climate change and rising sea levels at the end of the ice age. Is that proven? No, it's a hypothesis, and a controversial one, but it's the thread connecting almost every pyramids or older theory out there. The water erosion on the Sphinx, the pre-agricultural sophistication of Göbekli Tepe, the star alignments, they all point backward toward roughly the same window of time. There's one more piece of this that keeps people up at night, and it has nothing to do with stars or rainfall. It's the stones themselves. Some of the blocks used in the oldest parts of the Giza complex, particularly in the Valley Temple and parts of the Sphinx enclosure, are massive limestone and granite megaliths, some weighing more than 200 tons. They're fitted together with a level of precision that's difficult to replicate even with modern equipment. Mainstream archaeology has real workable explanations for this: copper tools, wet sand, wooden sledges, ramps, and an enormous, well-organized labor force. We even have evidence of a workers' village near Giza, with bakeries, breweries, and medical care for laborers, which tells us these were skilled, respected workers, not slaves as pop culture once assumed. But the older pyramid theorists argue something different. They suggest that the core, oldest structures, the roughest, most weathered parts, may have already been standing when the Egyptians of Khufu's era arrived. And rather than building from scratch, the 4th dynasty Egyptians renovated, refaced, and expanded existing monuments, adding their own inscriptions and architectural style on top of something ancient they inherited. That would explain something that's puzzled visitors for 2 centuries. Why is there no single hieroglyphic inscription anywhere inside the Great Pyramid crediting Khufu as its builder, except for one contested cartouche painted in an inaccessible relief chamber discovered by Richard Weiss in 1837, a find some researchers have questioned as a possible forgery, though most Egyptologists accept it as genuine? So where does that leave us? Honestly, it leaves us with more questions than answers, and that's exactly why this topic refuses to die. Mainstream Egyptology has strong, physical, textual evidence for the 2560 BC timeline, quarry marks, worker graffiti, administrative records, and a coherent architectural progression from earlier, cruder pyramids to the smooth perfection of Giza. But the alternative researchers have real anomalies too. Weathering patterns that don't match the climate, a civilization at Göbekli Tepe that shouldn't have existed yet according to the old model, star alignments that point to an impossibly early date, and a total absence of clear builder's credit inside the most famous structure in the ancient world. So maybe the real answer isn't that one side is completely right and the other is completely wrong. Maybe the truth is that Giza was built in layers, an older core shaped by people we don't have a name for, discovered and reclaimed by a later civilization brilliant enough to finish the job and put their own stamp on it. History isn't always a straight line moving forward. Sometimes it's built on top of things we've already forgotten. If this video changed the way you look at those three shapes on the horizon, hit subscribe because we dig into mysteries like this every week. And before you go, I want to know what you think. Do you believe the pyramids are exactly as old as the textbooks say? Or do you think there's an older story buried underneath the sand? Drop your theory in the comments. I read every single one. Until next time, keep questioning what you think you know.